Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you from start to finish of how I photograph sunsets and how I edit them. Stay tuned. So typically when I see people photograph the sunset, it looks really plain and uninteresting. It's just a sky, a little horizon, and a sun. And I think we could do a lot better than that. So I'm going to encourage you guys to use your environment to make the photo a lot more interesting, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so before we even begin, I highly recommend showing up to your location 1 hour ahead of time. That's all part of the preparation, because the sun dips so low, so fast, you should plan a little bit ahead. That is my first tip for you. All right, so right now I'm going to be incorporating leading lines into my composition. So this gigantic pier is going to act as one leading line towards the sunset. And when I show you the photo, it kind of directs your eyes from the right side of the photo all the way towards the left side where the sun is. And it kind of uses my environment to direct the viewer's eyes to pay attention to all corners of my picture instead of just like, you know, one sun in the middle, maybe some ocean on the bottom and a sky on the top. Like, that's super boring. So having this municipal pier act as one gigantic arrow towards the sun is one way you could use leading lines. Tip number 3 is actually to use people as silhouettes, because we're going to be photographing the sunset and we want it in the frame. You don't have to take pictures of people like fully exposed. So when you're opening up your camera app, your iPhone's going to probably want to expose the shadows perfectly. But hold down on your screen, bring the sun icon all the way down so that they're completely blacked out, so that the interest is more on the sun, but the people silhouetted out are a nice accessory to that photo. All right, so the 4th tip that I have for you guys is to use reflections. And I don't necessarily mean like use a mirror and carry that out with you, but in this location specifically, things are gonna get wet. So one technique that I usually use is to find a nice, shiny, wet surface, and I bring my camera really low to the ground and maybe even hold my phone upside down so the lens gets close to that surface. All right, so down here, I could tell that there's like a nice puddle, and I'm gonna use that as that like reflection tip that I just mentioned. Oh yeah, that reflection looks beautiful. That's real good. So don't be afraid to like hold your phone upside down so that the lens is right above the surface and it disguises everything. Woo! Okay. And I use it so that it kind of disguises the foreground and the environment as a mirror and creates somewhat of a double exposure. It kind of disguises the environment and it makes the photo a lot more interesting. And sometimes you can see 2 sunsets in one photo. All right, so the 5th tip that I have for you guys is to actually shoot through something. So right now I'm gonna use my passenger side door as a little bit of a natural frame, and I'm going to use this as a little tool to contextualize my sunset photo, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second. Let me just pop out. All right, so I'm just gonna use my passenger side door to frame up this sunset, and this looks super nice. I'm using the 2.5x lens, and the sun is just right above the water. Oh man, this is awesome. That is good stuff. I even have like the fence to be like even more framing for the sun too. All right, so the last tip that I have for you guys is to actually turn around and see what is being illuminated by the sunset. Because yeah, we could pop shots all day long of the sun right above the water, but sometimes you just gotta really look around and maybe look above you to see what else looks good. So right behind me, there's a really cool building. I'm not really gonna film me shooting this because there are some people watching me, but I will show you what these photos will look like in a second. All right, so we're back in the studio now, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to edit some of these photos. But before we do that, I kind of want to do some culling through a lot of the photos that I've taken, because I'm going to end up hoarding it and taking up too much storage in my phone. So I'm going to use an app called Gemini Photos that'll help me organize and delete some photos that I really don't need. So a cool thing about Gemini Photos is that it's going to categorize a lot of my photo library, and the section that I'm going to particularly go to is called duplicates or similar. So yeah, like right from the get-go, it'll show me a lot of photos that pretty much are the same look-alike, and it'll tell me which one's the best result. So I kind of believe it on this row, so I'm going to move the 3 to the trash over here. Yeah, this is just a reflection. These are literally all the same. So I'm gonna move 2 to the trash. Don't need those. This is the photo of the house. Yeah, most of these are kind of trash, so they will belong in the trash. So this app is pretty tight because I don't have to go into my photo library and delete them individually. This app will like help me run through a lot of algorithmic type stuff, simplify the process so that I don't have to think about it too much. Oh yeah, there's 15 of the same exact photo here, all to the trash. So that's what Gemini Photos can do for you as well if you follow along this tutorial and you blasted off a lot of sunset photos. So download link is in the description for Gemini Photos. Highly recommend using it. Alright guys, so I'm going to be using this app called Lightroom Mobile and it's free in the iOS App Store. So go ahead and download that. It is my editing app of choice. Highly recommend it. So I have 5 photos pulled up for you guys, but I'm only going to show how I'm going to edit a couple of them. So let's pick the second photo right here that exhibits a little bit of reflection game. Ooh, I really like this. So let's just start off with some lights. Bring the exposure up. It kind of looks a little dark. There we go. Add some contrast. I think I will crush those shadows, so let's bring those shadows down. Oh yeah, highlights up, and then whites up, blacks down. So this is already like exhibiting a very high contrasty type photo, but don't worry, it'll look even better as we go. So I'm going to click on curves, let's bring the shadows up a little bit. For a theatrical look, I always like to do that type of black point right there, and then bring the white point down to soften up the highlights. There we go. Oof, anchor down the middle. Bring those shadows down. It was looking a little too intense. A little too intense. Here we go. Okay. There we go. I like that. Alright. Very nice. Click done. Let's move on to color. Let's make it a little bit warmer because it's supposed to be like, you know, sunshiny. Actually, let me go back to light. Change this crush shadow look. It's a little bit too intense. That should be good. Alright. Back to color. So temperature should be up a little bit. I don't see anything wrong with the tint. Saturation, I'll leave at 0 because I'm going to go in the individual channels to do that. So let's mess with the oranges. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Let's take the blues out, so saturation down. Luminance up, so that really desaturates a lot of blues. Maybe bias it towards teal a little bit for a little orange teal action. Okay, that's looking a little different. Actually, a lot different from that. So that's pretty good for me. I like a nice stylistic effect. Alright, edit number 2. This is a picture of my buddy Eric who helped me film this video. So let's do him justice by giving him a nice little edit. Start off the same procedure. This time I'm going to make it a little less contrasty. So highlights down, shadows up to make a more flatter image. I think the image is not liking that too much, so I'll bring the highlights a little bit back. I shot these in Apple ProRAW, so the flexibility is way higher than it would usually be if it was a regular JPEG. Let's go to curve, do this, do that. Oh yeah, oh yep, definitely liking this a lot. Very soft highlights in the back, very, very soft. And Eric is popping out just like that. It's like a different type of contrast from the previous image. Temperature, actually no, temperature down. Just a little bit. I don't want it to blast in too much orange. Let's go into the individual channels. Mix. Let's do a little bit of an orange teal action. So let's go to blue, teal it up. Saturation, there we go. Orange back. Yellow, add some saturation, luminance. We'll go luminance down a little bit. Looking quite nice. Alright, image number 3. So we had a lot of colorful photos already. Let's make this black and white. But we'll have a little bit of style to it. So middle anchor point right there. Do one of these. Do one of these. Very crushed look. There we go. Very theatrical in my opinion. Very nice. Can we add grain to this? I think this is an effects. Grain right here. Let's add some grain to that. Let's add some sharpness. Reduce the clarity a little bit. Or I mean the texture. And then detail will bring up the sharpness. There we go. There we go. That's actually looking like quite easy. Just like that. I like that a lot.
And there you have it. I just showed you my entire workflow and process from being out on the Pacifica Municipal Pier, photo walking and taking photos of the sunset, then going back home, culling through the photos through Gemini Photos, and then editing all of them in Lightroom Mobile. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you in that next video.